So what I want to start this presentation out with was a presentation made by Dr. Heidi Larson. She's an anthropologist that works with the, what's it called? Vaccine Confidence Project. The Vaccine Confidence Project, she's the director. So she's been investigating the confidence around vaccines. I want to start here because we should get a little bit warm and fuzzy about the question. I've been saying we're winning, but nothing would prove it more than someone like a head scientist, a head doctor for the World Health Organization at the Summit on Vaccine Safety admitting that. So let us begin. This is Dr. Heidi Larson speaking to all of the scientists in Geneva, Switzerland about vaccine confidence.
You've seen a lot of news about the growing questioning environment, but what I'm trying to look at here is where does safety come up in the broader look at where the confidence problem is. And again, safety rises to the top. This was in the US. I've done a lot in Europe. This was our first, we developed a vaccine confidence index, which we've been running for 5 years. Have under review now an analysis of 250,000 people in 148 countries. We have all their background demographics and to look at what are the trends and patterns, but this is one of the first ones we did, 67 countries in 2016, and I was actually surprised at Europe being so acutely skeptical when it came to safety. I knew other countries were having some issues, but it was quite acute in Europe. When we try to disaggregate that by different kinds of reasons, safety is the biggest issue. Safety is the biggest issue. Fear of side effects, low sense of risk. The other thing that's a trend and an issue is not just confidence in providers, but confidence of healthcare providers. We have a very wobbly health professional front line that is starting to question vaccines and the safety of vaccines. That's a huge problem because to this day, any study I've seen, and we're constantly looking on any studies in this space, still the most trusted person on any study I've seen globally is the healthcare provider. And if we lose that, we're in trouble.
Listen to what she's saying. Not only is it people that you have been affecting by sharing your stories and sharing the high wire and walking in and showing people like the vaccine safety white paper saying, well, read this. Many of you were handing this to your doctors. Many of you are questioning your doctors, asking very, very reasonable questions that they can't answer. Listen to what she's saying. The front line, they're soldiers for this issue are the doctors. Everybody looks up to, she says, to the doctors. That's the #1 person that people believe in, but that person is becoming wobbly. That person, we are all shocked to find, including her, but especially me, that they are starting to question vaccines themselves. The doctors themselves are questioning the vaccines. Isn't that mind-blowing? So we're having an even bigger effect than we realize. They're not admitting that to us, but they're admitting that to the World Health Organization when they're having to fill out a survey. Yeah, no, I'm not really confident about these things.
I spend a lot of time talking, particularly in the last 6 months, with tech companies, Facebook, WhatsApp, Pulsar, Twitter, Instagram, WeChat, W.H.O. They have a lot of fingers pointing at them to fix the misinformation problem. But it's not so simple. One, the biggest problem is a lot of it's not misinformation. Our problem is, as we've heard in the last 48 hours, that there's not anything 100%. And what actually can legally, without creating a censorship thing, can we absolutely say this is misinformation? Because we have a lot of ambiguity in the safety field, and we have to come to terms with that. So we have to think about it differently than deleting misinformation. but building trust so people are willing to put up with a certain amount of risk because they believe in it enough. They believe in our work, what we're doing, and that it's in their interest.
I'm speechless. I mean, I think you should be speechless right now. These are the people that are writing the mandates. They oversee the AMA, everybody. This is the World Health Organization. These are the world scientists. This is the woman looking into it. What she's saying is, look, we all have to admit that our biggest problem is these things that are being said in these blogs and these posts online. It's not actually misinformation. Even though we've told CNN to call it misinformation, even though we told the Washington Post and the New York Times to call it misinformation, here inside this room where we forgot the cameras are rolling, we all know deep down it's not misinformation. It's true. They found our weakness. We have a real problem now, and we're losing the people. Somehow they're getting this information. Somehow this problem is growing. You see, what you're about to start watching now, and we're going to see this year, what are they going to do about it? They recognize now that they're losing ground, that the entire approach of just saying, go against them and just call it misinformation and say they're lying, that it's not working, because we keep doing this. We keep putting out products like this that at the bottom of every page have links so that you can go read the actual science yourself. So even though newspapers refuse to read and doctors are barely learning to read, sounds like they're going to maybe start trying to learn to read, we've been presenting truthful information and they know it. That's what's shocking. They're lying to the world. They're lying to the media and saying, call it misinformation, even though we know it's not. You want to hear another sea change? Look where this woman thinks we should go. Look where Heidi thinks we need to go in order to bring people back to the belief in vaccines. This one is going to blow your mind.
This is a physicist I'm working with at GW in George Washington University. Is actually an Oxford physicist. He had worked primarily on different kinds of social networks, but I was fascinated by his methods, and I said, listen, you should look at the vaccine space. So each of these blobs, as he calls them, are communities, like a Facebook page, or Arnica, this group of mothers. So the green dots are undecided, neutral communities, people interested in vaccines but asking questions. The red are the clearly questioning anti-communities, and the blue are the positive. Already you can see the blue is a tighter group, and the red more out there. Now, if you look at the numbers, what he was looking at was over a period of time, literally a couple months, what is the recruiting pace of the blue positive versus the red in them converting the undecided to their camp or the other. It was a 500% faster recruitment by the negative than the positive vaccine community. That's fast. And this is not hypothetical.
That is fast, folks. You know, let's all do it together. Let's go like this right now. Look what you've done. 500% faster is those people that are looking for information that are starting to find the information that you've been putting out there. Our recruitment is perfect. So if you've been saying to yourself, you know, is anyone hearing this? Is any of this working? Is my blog? And I love the fact that so many of you last year started blogging yourself, started your own programs, have your friends gathering in, because all of us have different voices. If you look at that red, that's all over the way it's spread. By the way, I'm dying to get this made into like a 10 by 10 foot wall hanging, you know, a Jackson Pollock of sorts on my wall. I'm going to do it because it makes me so proud of all of us. Look at our recruitment. It means we are languaging, you know, we're talking about the right things. We're approaching this the right way. And pharma is dying. Pharma has billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars they're spending on every major network in the world. They're pushing this agenda, but you with the truth at home, typing and blogging and writing to your friends and sharing, are making a difference that they cannot explain. It's incredible. And one of the things they're going to do to try and see if they can get some of those greens back is change their languaging. What language do they want to change? Take a look at this.
One of our biggest challenges, I think now, is getting rid of the term anti-vaxx, getting rid of the hostile language, and starting to have more conversations, to be open to questions, to make people feel like they shouldn't be judged when they're asking questions. As crazy as those questions might seem to you, as stupid as they might seem, or as ignorant as they might seem, we can't risk losing another person's confidence in safety right now.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying. Every single day, people are coming over to our side. Every single day, the pharmaceutical industry and the medical establishment are losing people. Now think about this. What's being laid out here is a plan that was put in place by Stanley Plotkin, by Paul Offit. Senator Richard Pan is one of the people that are using their talking points. They decided at some point, let's just say vaccines are safe and effective. Let's tell them there are no injuries. Let's call them all anti-vaxxers, whether it's just a mom that's coming to an office with a baby asking a reasonable question, or it's a scientist that's deciding to look into aluminum and how dangerous it might be in a vaccine for the first time in his life. Call them all anti-vaxxers and we win.